Right now, let's talk about component inheritance. So, we're going to be talking about components specifically, how to create a parent component, child component. We also have sibling component and variants. Okay, so component inheritance is all about a child component inheriting the properties of the parent component. So before that, let's talk about parent component. So I'm going to draw a button or insert or create a button quickly. So let's say it's a login button. All right, so I'm going to make that inter medium, right? Then the size should be let's make it a little bigger to 56. Yeah, I'm going to use that. So I'm about to design a button using auto layout. So after typing that, I'm going to type shift A to apply auto layout to that. Then I'll come over here and adjust the margin and the padding. So let's say the left and right padding, I'm going to make it 40. Okay, let's increase that to 120. Yeah, for the left and right padding. Then the top and bottom, I'm going to make it 32. I think I'm going to increase the left and right again to, let's say, 200. Good. So I have a button right now. I'm going to add color, so I'll go to fill and then select my brand color, primary color. Then I'll change the text color right here to white. Okay, and then add a corner radius of 8 pixels. So I have a button, okay, created with auto layout. Okay, I just created a button, but this is not yet a component. All right, it is not part of my design system yet. On the previous video, I made a video in the previous video about design system, introduction to design system. Okay, so this button is not yet a part of my design system. So how do I add it to my design system? I will have to convert it to a component, right? So to convert it to a component, I can right click on it and select create component right there. Okay, that is one way. That's the keyboard shortcut Control Alt K or Control Option K, Command Option K if you're using Mac. I can also just click on the button, then come over here. That is the button. I think I use this a lot most of the time. So I can just tap on that and it's going to convert this to a component, which adds it to my design system. So if I go to Asset, then my own custom design system is right here. I'll click on it. All right, then open design system, and then you can see my button primary. That's the name I use. Button primary is right there. You can see all the assets inside my design system. Okay, I created them and added them just to reuse them anytime I need them. All right, so this comes in as a parent, though it's not yet a parent, it's just a component for now. So how do I create an instance of this component? All I have to do is come to my design system right here, my asset, and then drag this and place it here. All right, so this is now a parent component, while this is an instance or a child of the parent component, parent and child component. Okay, so let me create another child of that, or another instance of the parent component right here. Now, talking about inheritance once again, component inheritance. Just like the real life inheritance work, the children here inherit all the properties or characteristics of the parent component. So if I change the color of the parent component to a different color, this is going to change the colors of the children as well. Okay, since the children are inheriting their properties from the parent component. Okay, so any changes made on the parent affects the children. Most of the time we don't use the parent component in our design. We create it separately in a different design system page. So it's the children we use mostly on our design, so that if you ever need to change the colors of all the primary buttons on your design, just go to the parent and change that, and this affects all the children as well, not just the color but the properties as well, including padding and margin and other properties of the parent component. Okay, so that is it about parent and child component. And then once again, about relationship, these two are sibling components. They are siblings. So if you make any changes to the sibling, it doesn't affect the parent, it also doesn't affect its sibling. All right, you see I just changed the color of the first sibling. The parent is not affected, the sibling is not affected. All right, so this is parent child relationship, and this is sibling. This is a sibling relationship between these two components. Okay, now let's talk about variants. Variants are used to create animations most of the time, or interactions between buttons. Let's say I want to create hover effect now, or click effect. All right, I can create different states on this parent. So to do that, I'll just click on this, then go up there where we have add variant. Once I tap on it, this is going to add another component. All right, this is not a child, this is a variant of it. So I'm going to change the properties of this variant, and the color, I'm going to change the color of the variant to another color. Let's say this color right here. Okay, so it means that this child here, I can use any of the variants of this particular component on the child. Let's say this first child, I can use the default variant, while the second child, I may choose to use the second variant. So how do I do that? I'll just click on it, then come over here. You can see the current setting is default. For this one is default, so I'm going to change it to variant 2, and then it's going to change it to variant 2. All right, so you can always change it back anytime at any point. It depends on which of the variant you want for the particular page or screen you are working on. Okay, so like I said, we can also use it to create animations, but we'll talk about animations on a different video in a different